My mom went out 2 days before Christmas and then texted me 12 hours later saying she would be gone for a week and for me to have the kids. She hasn't come back since. So almost 9 weeks. I have heard from her 3 times total and she is saying she isn't coming back anytime soon, she just keeps sending money. My siblings are 16, 13, 12, 9, and 7. I'm 19F. I'm surviving looking after the kids by myself and TBH, not much has changed because I did most of it when my mom was here anyway. We live with our nan, but she doesn't help with them really either, and my older siblings are long moved out. I guess my question is my mom being gone a serious issue legally and with social services? I don't want to risk the kids going into care, been there done that when I was younger, so I haven't told anyone that she's gone. I'm scared of what will happen if people find out, so I don't want to even ask the question IRL. Relevant comments. Commenter asks if OP's nan can provide assistance on getting guardianship on the younger siblings to be in a stable position so no one doesn't have to be in foster care or split up. OP, thanks. I guess all I know is I really don't want them going into care. The system where we live is crap and I just don't want them to go through that. I don't feel like my life prospects are great anyway and I don't want to send them into care so I can maybe have a bit better life. BC I doubt I would anyway and I think the guilt would torture me more than just sticking it out with them. Maybe if I didn't already do everything for them before my mom left then this would feel worse, but I have taken care of them for years already and I don't think I can abandon them. My nan might agree to that. For now she just says my mom will be back soon. She refuses to help with the kids generally BC she's been there done that or whatever and says she's too old. Commenter, you need to report your mother for abandoning her kids, but at the same time tell them you will look after them, your mom need to learn she can't do this to her kids and needs to be brought up on child abandonment charges. OP, I would do that if it was guaranteed I could keep them, but I don't know if that's even possible or at all likely with so many of them and we aren't rich. Maybe 1 or 2 kids they would say okay, but 5 just seems unlikely they would let me keep them. Commenter, is there any other trusted adult in your family? Aunt, uncle, cousin, something? Maybe they could come help you keep your family together? OP, we have some aunts and uncles but none we are close to or who seem like they care. I could try that route I guess. My older siblings are most likely to give a crap and even they aren't being very helpful. Commenter, why do you think your life prospects aren't good? You're 19, you have your whole life ahead of you. This is really unfair of your mom to put on you. I totally get not wanting your siblings to go into the system, but you need to think about setting yourself up to be in a position where you could take care of them if that's your goal. The youngest is 7, you're looking a long road of caregiving if you go this route and you need to be able to support yourself and them if that's your goal. OP, I didn't do great in school, we don't have much money, live in a crappy area, I can tick most of the boxes for things that set you back in life. I work now and make a decent wage, but I just can't imagine being able to enjoy that if I abandoned my family. I have thought about it a lot and I used to wish I could just go and live my own life, but reality is I would have no one and nothing to live for. Commenter, where TF did she go? Is she in trouble? On drugs? Even if she comes back, this sounds super shady and maybe she shouldn't be caring for them. You need to call someone. OP, she's done it before. Usually she goes to the same city but I have no idea what she does when she's there. She tells everyone she's looking for our dad but that's bullcrap. Far as I know she doesn't do drugs but she has had issues with alcohol. She's crap in the mom department but she doesn't care for them even when she is here, I do. Commenter, file emergency guardianship. You're an adult so I don't see the law removing them if under your legal care. Not sure. Where are your older siblings? Do they know what's going on? OP, they moved out at 18 and we very rarely see them. I have told them she's gone but they don't think it's a big deal as she has done it before. Commenter asks OP if her mother has some types of benefits that might be helpful for the children. And if their father is in the picture or not. And if OP knows what liabilities she has with her siblings. OP, I don't have POA or know how I can even get that. I assume it would come with legal guardianship. I think she does, but I don't really know the details or how much. She goes through phases of talking about that stuff, but she also lies a lot. She claims she gets nothing from the government, but she also claims she got thousands from our dad, which is impossible. BC, he is the definition of a train wreck, and I don't know when he has even had a job. As in if they got hurt in my care? We don't have access to that kind of thing as far as I know. We live in a small rural town with minimal access to a lot of services like that. I'm trying to find out but not having much luck. I can make $4K, $5K a month depending on what shifts I am able to do. Lately, I can only work 30 hours a week when the kids are in school, so can't earn as much, but my mom has sent money and my nan covers most bills, so I don't have a huge amount of expenses. Food for 5 kids is a lot, but I'm doing okay so far and can save a small amount. Food/clothes should be fine. I mainly worry about birthdays and other big expenses like that, but that's why I'm trying to save as much as possible for those times. No idea where my dad is. We haven't seen or heard from him for around 5 years. There were some serious abuse allegations from my older siblings, and he hasn't been seen since. Before that, he would come and go. The age gaps between the siblings are the times he disappeared. He would vanish for sometimes years, then reappear, and they'd have a couple more kids. I want to keep them here with us. So really just need advice on how to go about that. Letting them go into care would kill me, so it's not really the advice I'm looking for, but I do understand why everyone is saying that. Update 1. I spoke to my mom on the phone and told her I want her to give me custody of the kids since she is refusing to come back or say when she will be back, and I'm done with her bullcrap. We argued for like an hour, but in the end she said she would do it after I told her I was going to call the police on her. Before speaking to her, I spoke to a lawyer, and I should be able to get legal guardianship through a parenting order, which will go through court. My 22-year-old brother said he will move home and help me under the condition that my mom doesn't move back as he refuses to be around her. His income and input will help a lot, and he seems serious about wanting to be involved with parenting and taking care of the kids, especially our little brother, as he needs a male role model badly. If we can't get custody, then my nan should be able to. Either way, my mom is very unlikely to keep custody unless she suddenly decides she gives a crap. I would bet my life she will never give a flying fudge. Getting legal custody is the outcome I want, so I'm relieved it seems like a real possibility. Now I'm just doing a total overhaul of everything with the kids because I think they need a lot more structure, discipline, rules, routine than they have had until now. I have realized I don't really know anything about good parenting, so I have a lot to learn. Maybe I will get some books. Until now, our house has been more like a house share, with everyone doing what they want and running around feral rather than anyone really guiding the kids. I grew up even more feral, and I don't think it's a good way to be raised. So I'm starting a bath and bedtime routine for the youngest 2, and a curfew for the teenagers. Because right now the 12-year-old goes off on his skateboard and will just show up again at like 10 p.m. on a school night. I've also been giving them much better food than they usually have, and it's been rough to get them to eat healthy, but we have made so much progress already. Any advice on instilling rules would be welcome, as I don't think it will be easy, and I have never had any kind of actual parent role model in my life. Relevant comments. Commenter, in another post you mention your dad, where is he? He should step up. OP, he disappeared 5 years ago after my older siblings started talking openly about how he abused them. We haven't seen or heard from him since. He used to vanish for years at a time and come back when he was bored or whatever, and my mom would try to keep him around with new babies. But I don't think he will be back again. Commenter asked if it was possible for OP and her nan to get her siblings in therapy. OP, thank you small, we can't afford therapy and don't have any access to it where we live. Even if we had the money, I'm pretty sure it would be a 3-hour round trip to the nearest one. X5 would be impossible. I will defo try to make sure to give them choices and listen to them as much as possible. I already approach things differently with them as their personalities are so different. Some need me to be a lot more authoritative to even have a chance of them taking me serious. One cries if she even suspects I'm mad at her. It's a lot to learn, but I'm willing to give it everything Eve got and hope that will be enough. Update number 2. Thanks to advice here, we have realized that getting kinship is a better choice for us financially than getting legal guardianship. This wasn't mentioned to us by the lawyer or social services, so I'm so grateful for everyone here, as we will have so much less financial stress on kinship and we will get access to a lot more services for the kids. Things are already seeming so much less scary. My brother has come home to help me and is working remotely for his same job, which is ideal. He has been amazing at making it all happen so fast and packing up his life to move back. He is still back and forth at the moment, but should be here full-time besides a few days a month where he has to be there in person. Our oldest sister has said she will send some money every month to help us, but doesn't want to be involved other than that. I understand why and am very grateful she is helping. Honestly, it hurts a bit that she refuses to talk about the kids or anything, but she is doing what she can handle right now, I guess. Our other sister is working FIFO right now and has suggested coming back on her weeks off to help out, but I'm not sure if that will actually happen or work well in reality. My brother doesn't get along with her very well and says he doesn't think living with her again will work. The kids are still struggling with the new rules, and we have had some issues. 16-year-old hates me, so my brother is trying to take over with her BC. I am bored of fighting with her. The others are doing better but still so difficult. 7-year-old won't sleep, which is the hardest thing right now BC. Then I can't sleep and I'm tired AF. She has meltdowns when she's tired and she's always tired now, so she's always having meltdowns. What to do with her? Everything I try to make her sleep doesn't work that well. She says she doesn't know why she won't sleep, so where to even start. My brother tried to get her to bed and she just cried and screamed for me. 12-year-old is listening to our brother, which is the best thing to ever happen because I was really worried about handling him since he listens to me never. 13 and 9-year-old are easier and not stressing me out too much. So we are kind of divide and conquer now. My brother handles 2 and I handle the other 3. I have found out I am very protective of the younger ones and find it very difficult to let my brother discipline them, so it causes less problems between us if I deal with them. Still early days and hoping consistency will fix a lot of the smaller issues. Long term we want to rent somewhere bigger as our nan's house is very cramped and making things harder. This is long and messy, sorry. Just wanted to update everyone who has asked and thank everyone again for the advice. Relevant comments. Commenter. Glad to hear your brother is helping out. Especially with the teenage siblings, it's hard for them to see you as an authority figure, unfortunately, as you're not that much older and it shouldn't be on you to deal with this. Having 2 people be a united front for them will be hugely helpful in establishing boundaries. Sounds like the 7-year-old might be dealing with anxiety. Kids are not great at identifying their own emotions. She's running from sleep because she doesn't feel safe to lie down and drop her guard. Strongly recommend getting them checked out by the GP if you can. Mention the trauma background. I know it's hard to find bulk billing GPs at the moment though. Divide and conquer is the right strategy. As is consistency, as you mentioned. I would strongly recommend communicating the current home situation to the kids' schools. They may be able to hook you guys up with more social services, and if nothing else it will be helpful for teachers to be aware of the situation and dealing with behavioral issues. But I am a teacher, so that's my bias. Op. Yeah. I think him being that bit older and the fact they haven't seen him for years has made him automatically more of an authority figure to the teenagers. The younger ones are a bit unsure of him still, and I think they will adjust to him better if he isn't being the strict one straight off. It's hard to find the balance with the different approaches for each kid. But 16-year-old went to a party last night and was texting me arguing about the preset pickup time we gave her, so my brother went to get her and she actually got in the car. If I had gone she would have 100% told me to fudge off. Yeah. She refuses to lay down and just hates her bed. Only way I can get her to sleep is by laying in her bed with her until I'm sure she's in a deep sleep. And that's after hours of her physically fighting me, crying, etc. Trying to get them to the GP is a huge struggle time-wise and money-wise. We'll get them an ASAP, but probably won't be that soon. Also don't have a car big enough for everyone, so would have to go in separate trips as well. The teachers are aware of the situation. They know my mom is a POS and I have been doing parents' night etc. for the kids for literal years. I told them she is away and I am going for custody. Commenter. 7 might be having bad dreams, or maybe she feels being awake is the only time she has any control over her life. Did your egg donor leave during the night maybe? Either way, insomnia is a bitch, and I sympathize with you both. Will she quietly draw or watch videos during the night while you sleep? Does she have a nightlife and white noise? Op. Yeah. 7-year-old woke up on Christmas Eve to our mom being gone. TBH, she seemed kind of unfazed about it. BC, she is not even remotely close to my mom. She slept in my room from like 4 months old. But it obviously has affected her. I think she is probably worried I will leave, so she's trying to stay awake to make sure I'm still there. I tell her all the time I'm not going anywhere etc., but she just freaks out about bedtime every single evening. Even if I keep her in the living room with me and hope she will fall asleep without any pressure, she stays awake way too late considering she has school in the morning. And she still cries and says she just wants it to be morning already. The 4 kids are all in the same room and there is a nightlight in there, but 13-year-old turns it off because she says she can't sleep with any light. 7-year-old has never said she needs a light TBF. She slept fine in the dark before all this. Update number 3. Back with another update for those who asked. Can't believe it's been over 3 months now. We applied for kinship and have had the provisional approval and the home inspection and some interviews. We've got a couple more things to do / still ongoing, and then we should be good. We got our first payment, which has been so good and really made me feel much more optimistic about everything. BC, we will be able to actually do something other than just survive. The caseworker pretty much told me they don't want to have to find placements for this many kids, so us keeping them is their much preferred option, which is reassuring. My mom hasn't contacted me for a while. We thought she might show up on Easter. BC holidays are usually her time to cry about how much she misses our dad, and she usually prefers to ruin everyone's day with that. But she didn't come, thank God. Our Nan is still at our auntie's. BC she can't stand to be around us apparently. BC me trying to feed them good food and not let a 7-year-old disappear for hours on bicycles with kids 3+ years old than her is just me thinking I'm better than my Nan. A lot of people said to try and co-sleep with 7 years old, so I have started doing that. It's helping a bit and she actually will lay down, so that's a win, but she still cries a lot and tries to get up. She also does a death grip on me, so I have kind of accepted that I have to go to bed when she does. It's not the worst thing ever. BC I have been looking things up and reading online whilst I lay with her when she eventually calms down. I've ordered melatonin to try. I share a room with 16 years old and she doesn't want 7 years old in there, but it's kind of tough. I can't do anything about it until we can move house, which isn't going to be soon. It's not the most peaceful night with her in there. BC she kicks me and wakes up at random times trying to chat or crying, but we are getting some sleep. She slept in my single bed with me from 4 months old until she was like 2. I clearly knew nothing about safe sleep, but my mom had sold the crib to try to annoy my dad, so she actually had nowhere else to sleep. And I haven't told her that. BC I don't want to tell her mom didn't care that she didn't have a bed, but she seems to remember. BC she said, we used to have sleepovers in your bed a lot, didn't we? Also I got 16 years old earplugs and told her she can sleep in 7 years old's bed in the other room if she prefers. I do my best to try to soothe 7 years old in general. She had one of her crying breakdowns last week and said she didn't feel safe or happy. Then she said she wishes I was her real mummy. I told her I am her real mummy. BC I've looked after her whole life and I won't ever leave her. She seems a bit happier since then. I'm going to get a photo of us for her to have in her little purse she carries everywhere. She's pretty sentimental, so she will like that. Yesterday she asked me if me and our brother are married. Obviously I said no, and she said, I just feel like you are my mom and dad. I hope that's a good thing, even if it is a little weird. She is definitely bonding with him too. She always wants me to carry her around, and when I say no, BC I'm busy, he offers to do it and she lets him now. She used to ignore him. Seeing her snuggle into his neck and actually relax is the cutest thing. Makes my heart happy. BC I remember wishing I had a dad who would hold me, and I'm so glad she is getting all the love. Me and my brother have had a few disagreements over discipline. He is pretty strict and usually that's a good thing. BC they need it TBH, but sometimes I find it a bit much. Biggest disagreement was when he smacked 9 years old and I lost my crap. We grew up with a lot worse, and NGL I have smacked them before, but I don't want to be doing that anymore. Bro thinks there's nothing wrong with one smack on the bum. I would just rather we don't go there. He said he won't do it again and I don't think he will. He wasn't angry when he did it, so I'm not really concerned about it, and he apologized to 9 years old. We're just still trying to figure out discipline. Our dad used an electric cord as a whip, so one smack on the bum is practically gentle parenting to us. I have read enough to know we don't want to be doing any physical disciplining though. Worst thing Eve had to do is give the youngest 2 suppositories. My sister gave me money to take them to the GP. BC I was worried about them and couldn't find any for free and didn't want to wait for kinship. Turns out they are both malnourished, underweight, and constipated AF. And they've missed some vaccines. For the constipation we tried medicine and more fiber and more water, but no bueno, so it had to be the suppositories. BC the doctor said it was verging on severe. I tried to explain it to them and make the whole thing easy, but it turned into quite the drama. 9 years old was easier, but still took me a while. 7 years old was impossible, and everyone got too stressed on day 1, so we left it, and she was still not complying on day 2, so my brother had to get involved and pretty much had to hold her down. BC I called the doctor and she said either we do it or I take her in and they do it. So we had no choice really, and I still feel horrible about it. I'm obsessed with what they're eating now. BC I do not want anyone going through that again. But I will say they are a lot better since. They aren't getting tummy aches and they aren't so grouchy. And it has helped 7 years old with her sleep for sure. We are getting the other 3 to the doctor next week. We will do telehealth after, but I want them to see someone in person for the first appointment. After that, the next thing on the list is dentist. We have looked at therapy and should be getting telehealth sessions soon. So far all 3 teenagers have said they aren't doing therapy, but I will try to make them at least try it. 16 years old is still difficult. She took my ID and she was going out whenever she liked. But my brother grounded her and she has actually listened and not tried to sneak out. The other 3 are doing okay. No big issues with them TBH, they're adapting pretty well I think. I try to talk to them all about everything when I can, and they all seem to understand what's going on and trust that we won't be going anywhere and we just need them to cooperate with us so we can get through. My little brother Jay, 12, is obsessed with older bro. I used to have an issue with Jay going out every evening for hours and was so stressed about trying to keep him home and safe, but Matt being here has basically eliminated the issue. Jay just wants to be around him all the time, and Matt has somehow got this kid thinking doing homework with him is the best thing ever. Sorry this is so long again. How long I will keep doing these updates, but for now everyone is so incredibly helpful that I will carry on posting BC. I always need more advice. The advice and support from everyone in the comments and PM has been amazing and has actually helped change our day-to-day life for the better, so thank you SM Internet strangers. Update 4. My previous posts explain everything, but short version is our mom left right before Christmas and am now looking after my 5 younger siblings. 16 years old has been a pain in the ass the whole time. So unhelpful, permanently grumpy and arguing about everything and winding up the younger ones just to be annoying. Basically making my life harder every chance she gets. She got her phone confiscated today. BC she was videoing our little sister having an emotional meltdown and laughing at her. Later on whilst I was putting the phone away I saw a message from our mom pop up saying some horrible crap. My mom hasn't messaged me in weeks and 16 years old hasn't mentioned messaging her at all, so I was like WTF. Took me a few attempts to get into her phone, but I got in and saw so many messages. Mostly her begging our mom to come home and our mom either ignoring her or telling her to come to the city she's in right now. 16 years old sent her so many messages saying our younger siblings need her, and our mom replied saying I think I know HWO to raise them better, so she is leaving me to it since I don't want her here. Most recent one was 16 years old asking why she doesn't care about us, and our mom basically saying she has better things to do than sit here and listen to us all tell her everything she is doing wrong all the time. I knew she was having a hard time, but reading her messages to our mom has broken me and I just want to stop her hurting, so MUC. She basically hates me right now, so comforting her is very hard. BC she will not open up even a bit, and whenever I speak to her about it she acts like she doesn't care. What to do or say to her. Meanwhile my older sister just calls me periodically to tell me she wishes she could help, but she can't. BC of a list of reasons including but not limited to her not being able to face being around our youngest sister. BC our parents said she was her replacement and older sis can't get over it. Which is like, okay, but baby sis just turned 7 and big sis is almost 25. So at some point she needs to try get past that and realize it's not the little one's fault. And big sis is struggling. BC she feels like I'm her kid apparently, and she wanted me to come live with her when I was younger, but I chose to stay here and let my mom get away with not parenting. But the alternative is my siblings being neglected and abused like we were. Anyway I don't have time to be dealing with her emotional issues on top of everyone else's. And she's whining to me like oh I had to take time off work. BC I'm having a hard time mentally. Which makes me feel so great when I am working my ass off to feed 5 kids and dealing with a million behavioral issues a day and don't have time to do anything. Before everyone starts shouting therapy. Yeah, it's in the works. Trying to get telehealth arranged, but it's taking forever. We can't afford anything else, so that's the best we have for now. Until then it's good old-fashioned, just get on with it and try not to fudge the kids up any more than they are already. Update 5. Another update. BC my inbox is still flooded and I can't reply to everyone, so just going to say it all here for you guys and anyone else who wants to know. Been like 5 months now. JFC. Firstly thank you for all the nice messages and offers of help and stuff. I really do appreciate it, and sorry if I haven't replied, but I have had literally hundreds of messages and it's kind of overwhelming for me. I have read most of them and am still trying to reply to more, but it's a big job. Currently things are going okay. Big things that have happened / are happening. My older sister, the second oldest, is coming to visit soon. The relationship between her and my older brother is kind of strained. BC of some crap that happened when they were younger, and the 3 older ones all lived together for a bit after leaving home. Honestly, I think it was just a crap show having 3 damaged teenagers living together in a new place with no support. I don't have time to be the mediator though, so just told them if they can't get along then my sister will need to leave. BC the kids don't need any more drama and my brother needs to focus on being a parent. She's coming. BC she wants to, and she said she won't cause any drama, she just wants to help. We'll see how it goes anyway, but I'm low-key dreading it. Last time I saw this sister was years ago though, so I'm trying to not think she's going to be the same as she was when she was a teenager. We have started planning to move to WA. My brother is desperate to get out of our town and not have to worry about our parents showing up. He gets a lot of anxiety about it. He doesn't like me being at home without him being here. His job will help him move over there and he has been set on it for a while now. We will be able to transfer over there even with the kids being on kinship care, which is basically the only thing I was worried about. But that's confirmed, we will be fine to do it, so now I'm on board with it. Won't be any time soon, but hopefully end of the year we can move. Financially we are doing pretty good. We have the kinship money, mine and my brother's wages, and my older sisters have been sending money consistently. My brother is good with money and we are able to save some. I was able to buy the kids a small present each to cheer them up on Mother's Day. They have like barely any toys, so the little ones are psyched to have some things to play with and have been being feral outdoors way less this week. They have been playing Lego and Barbies like normal children. 7 years old sleeps so good when I give her melatonin. I don't do it every night, but when I do it's like a mini holiday. She sometimes wakes up mad, but I can deal with that when I have actually slept. Other nights, when she doesn't have it, I either keep her downstairs and hope she will fall asleep on me or my brother whilst watching TV, or I go through the emotional bedtime routine of her crying and saying she doesn't want to go to bed whilst I read the same 3 stories until she chills out. She is doing better at school again now. It was pretty bad for a while, obviously BC she was permanently exhausted and surviving on literal air, only BC the kid wouldn't sleep or eat. Right now 9 and 13 years olds are doing the telehealth therapy sessions. 7 years old won't speak to the therapist, so she's having indirect help through me. 12 years old hates it, so my brother is trying to learn techniques to do with him to help him. 16 years old refuses, which I was expecting anyway. Tried to force her to do it and that didn't go well. So again I just tried to give her indirect help. I had some one-to-one time with her recently and she was different in a good way. She lets her guard down when the younger kids aren't there. Like she can be vulnerable or whatever. She said, "Thank you for looking after us," to me on MD. Haven't seen any more messages on 16 years old's phone from our mom, she has completely stopped messaging any of us. The last thing she said to me was she doesn't know why I'm turning her kids against her. Kinda hilarious TBH, but just proves she is deep in Delula land. On Mother's Day 7-year-old went outside 4 times before 8 a.m. to make sure mom isn't coming down the road, and she has been crying about our dad, not sure why exactly. When I ask she just says she's worried about him. 9 years old gets annoyed with her and tells her to stop crying because our dad is a bad person. She is also very defensive of me and my brother and tries to police all the other kids and tells them to behave and be nice to us and don't argue/backchat/misbehave. I think she's concerned we will get fed up and leave. OFC I reassure her we want and she doesn't need to tell the others off. It's kind of funny anyway TBH because she is no angel herself. Their diet is a lot better. We still have issues every meal of every day, but overall it's better and they are doing well with trying to eat new things. Years of ramen and chicken nuggets has obviously been horrible for our bodies. But they all have at least one fruit or veg a day and have real dinners. They like pasta bake, so that's the new ramen around here. My brother cooks curry and tries to get them to eat it, but that doesn't go down so well. They like when he makes chicken and potatoes. 7 years old likes bluey pouches of vanilla custard and would eat those for every meal if I let her. My oldest sister is still a pain in the ass and wants to talk about our trauma all the time. She just has more time to dwell than I do. I have no time to dwell. I asked her to please not message me unless it's positive or helpful. Her reply showed she really is just jealous that I am giving all my time and energy to the kids, but I really don't have it in me to look after an adult's emotional needs as well. She sees me as her kid and she wants to see me but doesn't want to see the younger ones. Like she asked me to come visit and leave them with my brother for a few days. I'm not going to leave insecure kids who are permanently stressed that I will leave for good. Imagine how stressed they would be the whole time. She also thinks I am babying them. But I'm just treating them like children. Mostly it's just annoying that she is like this, but it's also partly upsetting because TBH there is nothing I would love more than for her to meet and love 7-year-old. For me it would be like my mom I'm meeting my child. BC my oldest sister raised me when I was really young and 7 years old is the only one of the kids I have fully raised since she was a tiny baby and my mom told me she didn't want her. Anyway, I am trying not to get too caught up in everything with my older sister because I have enough going on with all the kids. My grandma is still at my aunt's house and very unhelpful. But she's not bothering me much, so that's ideal. She mentioned wanting my cousin to move in here because he got kicked out by his girlfriend and has nowhere to live. But fudge that FR. He's a creep and a drug addict, so no way is that happening. Over my dead body. This has taken me like 3 days to finish writing and I have probably forgotten some stuff, but really just wanted to say thanks for the support and I'm not ignoring my messages, I just am busy and overwhelmed. Relevant comments. Commenter, you are an inspiration. It would have been so easy, in one sense, to walk away and live your own life away from all this. That you love your siblings enough to pour so much into them even when they're being difficult or horrible to you tells us a great deal about who you are. It looks like one-on-one time, when you can afford to do it, is best with 16 years old. It would give her an opportunity to bond a bit with you as something other than an authority figure. Is there anywhere your older sister could stay nearby when she visits? An old friend of hers or a current friend of yours? You are both apprehensive about this visit. She clearly cares about you and probably still sees you as the young person you were when she left. Some space might make it a bit easier and less likely to end in drama. There's a community out here who cares for and about you. Reach out if you need help. All the best. OP, thank you. The sister that's coming to visit isn't my oldest sister. She's not the one causing all the drama. That one won't come visit BC. She can't be around the kids apparently. It's the second oldest that's coming. There's not really anywhere else she can stay. We will see how it goes, but I'm going to be really blunt with her about how things need to be, and her and my brother need to forget their issues. Update 6. My sister. It's the second oldest here visiting. She's 23. She is here right now and has been here now for a few days. When she first got here, I arranged with her to arrive in the evening after the younger kids go to bed. BC, I thought it would be a bit much and knew she would be emotional. She was shaking when she arrived, so defo the right call. BC, the little kids would have been freaked out. The first evening I was like, hell, this is not gonna be good. BC, she was a serious wreck and wasn't sure she could stay. But then she slept on it and woke up way better and wasn't too emotional, except at a meeting the younger ones, since she hasn't seen them in so many years. Since then things have been good. Honestly, it has been better than I thought, and I feel kind of bad for dreading it so much. She is obviously different from her teenage self. She's never been really maternal or anything, and in my head that was a bad thing, but it's actually good. BC, she's hanging out with the kids as a sister, not a third parent figure. 16 years old is very similar in personality to her, so she has enjoyed having her here and having an adult to talk to who isn't me or Matt. 13 years old is clingy AF recently, and having my sister here means she has clung to her instead of me all the time. 12 years old is not impressed about having another girl in the house and says she stinks of perfume. Yeah. 9 years old wants to know why she's here and when she's leaving and if she's going to visit again, but when she isn't worrying, she is having fun getting my sister to do different hairstyles for her. And 7 years old only has eyes for me and is totally psyched when all the others are hanging out with big sis so she can have me to herself. She did ask my sister to let her out of timeout and was best buddies with her for 10 minutes until she got over being annoyed with me. I have got some time with my sister alone, which has been nice to properly speak to her and get her opinion on some stuff and have her clear up things that happened with my dad. She defo has a lot of issues still, but she is doing good for herself and pretty happy and isn't spiraling like our oldest sister. She pretty much said oldest sis has a lot of guilt issues for leaving and was expecting me to move in with her at 16, so is struggling a lot that I didn't and doesn't get how I was able to stay when she couldn't. Pretty sad hearing it, TBH, and I will defo talk to my oldest sister again and try help her, but I don't want to get sucked into being her therapist. Matt has got along with her fine too, but they aren't besties, but they seem like they have put their issues aside and can handle being around each other, which they defo couldn't do a couple years back. Why exactly, but seems like Matt and oldest sis had guilt issues and my other sister didn't. She has always been self-centered, but TBH it seems like that might be a good thing for her sake, and they had a lot of arguments about what they should and shouldn't be doing when they left. I think essentially middle sis was having too much fun and enjoying her life too much for the other two to handle. BC, they didn't think she gave a crap about the rest of us. Which she probably didn't, but that's good for her, I guess. Anyway, she is staying for the week, I think, since it's going pretty well. Other things. My nan is still winding me TF up. All the time. She whines at me daily about wanting my cousin to come live here, and she threatens to kick us out all the time even though she told our caseworker we can live here as long as we need. Try not to waste my energy getting pissed off at her. BC, my patience is running thin as it is, but JFC, she is so annoying and so aggy. BC, she's offended that I told her she's a crap parent and grandparent. My mum may have found my dad. I only suspect it because she has been messaging me demanding photos of my 12-year-old brother, and chances are she just wants to show my dad that he looks like him. She only gives a crap about her kids when she's trying to use them to make our dad love her. I told her to go fetch herself. BC, I'm not sending her any photos. Like, get a fudging grip. If you don't already have photos of your own child on your phone, that's a you problem. She has been a bitch to him his entire life anyway. If dad leaves soon after you're born or whilst she's still pregnant with you, you're in her bad books for life. 22, me, 16, 12 and 7 were all in the bad books before we could hold our own heads up. And the oldest two are in the bad books for not being quiet about him abusing them and letting it continue so my mom could live her dream of having my dad at home. Also should mention my dad has other kids. How many, and I have never met them, but he has mentioned them before and I thought they may have been made up, but my sister said one of them contacted her ages ago, so they defo exist. 7-year-old has been calling me mummy. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel bad that this little kid has to resort to calling a 20-year-old mess mummy. It has made it feel a lot more real, like damn, I really am all these kids have at this point. I know my mom would never sort herself out, but deep down I guess I felt like I'm the temporary guardian, and now I've fully realized no one is coming to take over at any point. I knew that, but if it had clicked until a few days of the teeny monster calling me mummy. I'm happy that she has someone she can call mummy though. She wouldn't have that in foster care, so that makes me feel better. It would be really fudging sad if she had no one to call mummy at 7 years old. 9-year-old has been a bit upset about it. BC, I think she wants to call me it as well, but it feels a bit uncomfortable for her. She keeps crying saying she wants me to be her mom too, but I'm not her mom and she doesn't know what to do. OFC, I have told her she can call me what she wants and it won't change the fact I will look after her and be there for her the same either way. I am kind of worried 7 years old is going to start calling Matt dad. BC, she is deep in her wanting a dad era and desperate for a dad. Talks about it a lot and asks about having a dad daily. Which triggers the other kids who hate our dad. So if it will go down well if she starts calling bro, dad. And I feel like it will be weird for her to refer to us both like that when we are siblings. But I don't want to tell her she can't either. She hasn't done it yet, but I can see her edging towards it. She asked me if I was going to marry Matt so he could be the dad. And he is so good with her. I heard him singing to her the other night. So OFC, she's in love. With 16 years old, I have found it easier if Matt does all the tough parenting crap and I act like I'm on her side kind of. OFC, he knows I'm not really, but she doesn't want me parenting her, so instead of trying to force it on her, I'm trying to be more like just a sibling and he is the bad guy. It doesn't work out perfectly and I still get pissed off at her, but mostly only when she does something to interfere with me parenting the other 4. Like 7 years old has her lovies, old muslin cloths, she is very attached to, and 16 years old confiscated one of them and wouldn't give it back, and I had to tell her you don't confiscate crap and force her to give it back by threatening to take her phone. But other stuff I leave to Matt. He is less bothered by the psychological BS with her. He just gets annoyed when I have an attitude with him and she overhears and copies me. It's been a lot of trial and error figuring out how to deal with everyone. BC, like 13 years old is my shadow and does not react well to Matt disciplining her at all, but is fine if I do it. And 12 years old is one extreme or the other. Would tell me to fudge off, but would cry when Matt tells him off for it. He listens to me better now, but only when I grab him and make him look at me whilst I speak. BC, he is the master of tuning me out. He cuddles me when no one else is around though, and if Matt disciplines him he comes to me crying. 9 years old is a perfect angel until she isn't and decides to have a 30-minute battle with us. BC, she doesn't want to brush her teeth for no actual reason. She kind of reminds me of myself as a kid trying to keep it all together all the time, but she is safe enough to then let it all out in a meltdown. Mostly, she's pretty easy. BC, she's reasonable, but sometimes she does go full demonic and tests our patience. To everyone messaging me saying 7 years old sounds autistic, she's not. I've discussed it with the doctor and the therapist. She's got anxiety and abandonment issues and is very stressed in general, which is why she can't let herself lose control and fall asleep. But she was not like this before my mom left at all. She used to sleep fine. All of them struggle with food. BC, they have been eating ramen their whole lives, but it's harder to get 7 years old to eat better. The older ones I can explain it a bit better that they need the nutrition and they will try and eat more. But she doesn't give a fudge about nutrition. And she's crazy attached to me. BC, she thinks I will leave obviously. She has tabs on me constantly. But in theory that should all pass with time and reassurance. Matt has been really good at not being like our parents were with us. He walks away a lot when he gets pissed off. BC, he doesn't want to react badly to the kids. He hasn't smacked anyone since our big argument about it, which TBH is impressive considering how it was for us as kids. He literally has scars from my dad's beatings and my mom has broken multiple bones on a few different kids. So trying not to be physical at all when that's what you're used to is hard, but we are doing it. I'm chilling out a bit now with letting him actually parent and not intervening all the time. Like a while ago we were having a terrible night with 7 years old and she was still screaming at about 2 a.m. Matt came to get her off me. BC, I was about to lose it and as he picked her up she was flipping out and accidentally headbutt him full in the face. I basically went blind and grabbed her off him so fast. BC, if that was my dad he literally would have thrown her across the room and she'd be in hospital. but Matt just sat on the floor silently and held his nose for a while. And I was like, WTF, he didn't even seemed pissed off. So a couple more situations like that, and now I'm not so crazy in protection mode and feel like I can trust him. Anyway, this is a lot longer than I planned yet again. Can't stop writing when I start, even though these updates take me days. Update number 7. Another update since it's been like 2 months since the last one. 16 years old is still up and down. Sometimes.
So?
Nice and easy to be around, and other times I'm like, TF is going on in her head. Like she had been really good with asking if she could go out and telling us who with and where and what she was doing. Which was like so much progress. Then a couple weeks ago, I went to check on one of the other kids at like 1 a.m. and 16 years old wasn't in bed, or anywhere else in the house. Called her 10 times and she had gone out. Her excuse was we were already in bed when she was invited, so she couldn't ask. That's BS anyway, because she knows I wasn't asleep. I was laying with 7 years old and had my phone with me, so she could have texted me. Just stupid crap like that where I'm like, I just need to know where you are, like especially at night. And she likes to argue with me about disciplining the younger ones, which is hell ironic because she thinks she can do whatever she wants and I'm like evil if I tell her no. But then she tells me I'm a soft pushover when the little kids are doing something they shouldn't. 9 years old has been terrorizing 7 years old and I'm trying to deal with it based on advice from the therapist and stuff I have read. 16 years old likes to get involved and give 9 years old a taste of her own medicine, which pretty much means she slaps her back. That doesn't help with my entire aim of everyone keeping their hands to themselves. I can see why 16 years old does it. BC, I have to fight the urge to do the whole "you hurt her, I'll hurt you" thing with 9 years old, since that was what my parents were like when they could be bothered to try to actually parent. Anyway, now I spend half the time trying to keep 9 and 7 separate and the other half arguing with 16 years old about discipline. Worst thing 9 years old has done was hit 7 years old on the head with a metal water bottle, and Matt lost his crap as much as you can lose it with a kid that age. She has been better since, but still not nice. Basically, she's frustrated with 7 years old. BC, she won't play or anything at the moment where they used to be best friends and play all day long. And 9 years old is trying to kind of discipline 7 years old. BC, she doesn't like it when she has meltdowns or talks about our dad or anything. 7 years old is my shadow, and BC, she doesn't sleep well. She is always tired/grumpy and not much fun for 9 years old to be around, so she gets angry with her. I was trying to push to 7 years old to play, and that always ended in tears. BC, she would just sit there and not join in whatever game 9 years old was wanting her to play, so she'd get mad and lash out. So now I'm just letting 7 years old be, and if she's happy being my shadow, then okay. For context, she's so attached to me that when she wasn't in the same room as me for like 10 minutes recently and I knew Matt didn't have her, I was kind of concerned where she was, went and found her sat on 12 years old's lap whilst he played a video game with his friend. The fact she was interested in something other than me or Matt was like, whoa, and I literally almost cried. With 9 years old, we are trying to give her more one-to-one time because she likes that and Defo needs it, but it's difficult to work around everything else. Matt has more time to spend with her, but she mostly wants me. I can usually get like 20 minutes with her in the evening, but that's it. Obviously, I see her more than that, but with the other kids there and 7 years old being needy AF, it's not really quality time. 13 and 12 are basically the same. Pretty easy compared to the other 3. 13 has her moments of copying 16 and being a huge pain in my ass, but mostly she is good. A bit of attitude is pretty easy, like give me the best, you've got IDGAF about that, as long as she's not jumping out her bedroom window and running around in the middle of the night. Had an issue with her. BC, she wanted to sleep over at her friend's house and I said no. BC, the dad is so sus, and she was hell mad at me, but she got over it. 12 just wants big brother's approval, so he's been good. Hasn't told me to go fudge myself in ages. BC, Matt is literally the respect police and won't let him get away with the crap he used to say to me. Matt is sorting out all the moving stuff. Trying to make it happen end of the year, hopefully. I'm not really involved as I'm too busy, and he knows more about it as he has done all the research, and I told him to figure out work and a house and schools and then just fill me in. I reduced my hours at work as it was too much and things have been easier since. Our sister, number 2, is saying she will move with us maybe as she wants to help out. Would be amazing to have 3 adults in the house, but we will have to see if that will defo work or not. That's kind of it, nothing else really happening. Haven't heard from my mom, and my nan is still living with our aunt. My oldest sister still sends money and we talk a bit, but I told her straight that I can't deal with the constant trauma talk right now. Comments. OP on how long her mom has been gone and if she plans to ask her mom to come back. OP, she's been gone 7 months. She isn't coming back, and that's a good thing. BC, she is abusive and toxic. Commenter, I'm so proud of you for stepping up and doing your best. Your mother doesn't deserve any of her kids. Will she be getting any repercussions for child neglect/abandonment? Because she needs to face some kind of consequences for what she's done. OP, thank you. She probably would if anyone could figure out where she is. But she has done worse before and nothing happened. They gave us back to her every time we were taken away as kids. No one was even injured or almost dead this time, so doubt they will do anything at all. Commenter, you amaze me. For 7 years old, have you looked into any of those stuffed animals for anxiety that may help with sleeping? There are so many out there. Ones that light up, ones that are weighted, ones that make sounds like breathing or heartbeat. I have a 19-year-old with anxiety, and luckily her weighted blanket helps her a lot, so she gets by with a long stuffed cat, like 3 feet long. That's the perfect size for cuddling without the bells and whistles of lights or sound. But she used to have one that lit up when she squeezed it and got anxious in the dark. It would stay on for I think 30 minutes with a soft light, giving her time to fall back to sleep. OP, I was meant to look into this and forgot, so thanks SM for the reminder. Ick, if she will want one, just BC. She is super attached to her collection of very old muslin cloths. They are literally disgusting, and freaks out if I dare to suggest she cuddle a teddy or anything else. She's all about the rags. I've been trying, and failing, to get her a new comfort item for ages. But I will look at weighted stuff and see if I can get her interested. She likes having my arm on her at night and squashes herself like right into me, so she defo likes the weight on her. Update 7. Got my first text from a kid's friend's mom today inviting 7 years old to her kid's birthday party in a few weeks. This is the message. Hi Hannah. Friend and friend's sister are having a joint birthday party at our house and a friend would love for 7 years old to come. It's drop off 1 p.m. and collect 3 p.m. Let me know if she can make it. Ick, if I like the whole drop-off/pickup thing, like I don't even really know these people except to just say hi to. But if that's normal, I don't want to be a freak and make it weird. 7 years old has literal diagnosed separation anxiety right now anyway, so not sure she would even let me leave her there, but I'm stressed either way. Don't want her to miss out and don't
really
want to leave her at someone's house for 2 hours, but I would if it turns out this is normal and I'm a nut. Edit. Thanks everyone. Appreciate everyone telling me I can ask the mom to stay without coming across as a lunatic. She was like,
yeah.
Defo, there's a couple parents staying and I can if I want to / if 7 wants me to. So.
Yay.
Now I feel way less stressed. Didn't ask kiddo yet since she was in a monster mood and would have said no to anything I asked her, but we'll find out her thoughts tomorrow. Update 8. Thanks for all the advice everyone. I took 7 years old to her friend's party and stayed the whole time, and it was defo the right decision, so I'm glad I messaged the mom about it and was able to figure it out. Louie came up to me loads at the start and then just looked at me a lot for the rest of the party, but she had a great time and I loved seeing her with her friends. She's never had a party or celebrated her birthday though, so she had a lot of questions after, and I promised she could have a cake and a party next year for her birthday. Getting a party bag fascinated her. She was like whoa, and said it was kind of like her birthday because she got a cupcake and 4 presents in the bag, stickers and a yo-yo and a small baby doll and a coloring book. She took 2 days to eat the cupcake and the baby is called Rapunzel and she carries it everywhere. I'm glad I asked here and didn't freak out and just say no like I was tempted to, since the idea of leaving her was freaking me out. Comments. Commenter, that is so sweet and heartbreaking at the same time. I'm glad you were able to work it out with the mom. In my experience, any decent parents will be willing to help accommodate kids with difficulties, special needs, allergies, attachment issues. Don't be afraid to ask. Usually any parents that make a big negative deal about it are the people you don't really want your kid to be around. Especially because your request was such an easy one to accommodate, it didn't seem like it put much if any burden on the other parent. Just know that you are doing great and your sister will remember this forever. Commenter, I'm so happy this worked out and 7 years old didn't miss out on being a kid. You are doing an amazing job and we are really proud of you. Don't be ashamed to continue to ask questions. You have a tribe of internet strangers in your corner. Commenter, you are doing amazing. Your siblings are so lucky to have you there for them. I'm so glad 7 years old got to experience a birthday party and that you got to watch her playing with friends and have a small break from her clinging on to you. I wish you all the luck moving forward. And as a mom, your stories have made me cry, hug my own kids a little tighter, and laugh with you when you talk about the 16-years attitude. You are strong and amazing. Not many can do what you're doing. And if you need any advice, you know your Reddit family is here to support you.